All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to my music channel, Hit the Note. And in today's video, first things first, I just want to let you guys know that yes, this channel did go through a name change. Originally, it was Boss and Hip Hop, but I knew that I can talk on more music, genres and stuff. So yeah, that's why I was like, okay, let me go ahead and change the name. And yeah, and then the just in the up and coming uploads and stuff, it's going to be more about other genres rather than because I am gonna still do videos where I do talk on hip hop and rap music and stuff. But I did want to just do more content on this channel and stuff. And I knew by doing that I will have to have it where I'm focused on other genres rather than just hip hop and rap. I'm limiting myself, not trying to do that in things. But anyways. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this because this video is gonna be more so of a story time. Talking on, in my opinion, this will probably be the most depressing day in music history. Like, there's a lot of different depressing days in music history because, like, yeah, from other artists passing. But yeah, Michael Jackson's, in my opinion, his death was one of those deaths where it's like you're not even related to him, but you still felt a depression as if you were related to him. So yeah, that particular day, June 25th, 2009, I think that's a day that a lot of music fans, we won't forget that day. I feel like a lot of people, if you were, and that's the crazy thing about it, it's like even if you weren't a Michael Jackson fan, because I wasn't the biggest Michael Jackson fan. I'll have to say the only exposure that I had to Michael Jackson was his Thriller music video, because my mom would have, like, we'll sit down together as a family and watch that video for Halloween. So yeah, but I wasn't like exposing myself to Michael Jackson's music, which I should have. Yeah, and I feel like if I probably would have been more of a Michael Jackson fan, it definitely, like, I felt the depression around that time frame. And I think that if I was more of a fan of his, that it probably would have shedded a tear or two. So yeah, guys, I was like, fam, I was depressed. Like, I just remember, I think it was either the day after he had passed, and it just felt like it was like an odd silence. Like it just felt like like Earth felt different. I'm gonna say that much. Like the world, it felt different. Like you felt I guess the silence afterwards, like when he passed and stuff. Like that's not the word that I was trying to say, but I'm trying to, like, it's just I feel like his death is just one of those deaths where it's like words can't really explain it. You just had to see how, like, the world was when he passed and stuff. So but no, yeah, let's go ahead and get into this story time. And if you want to tell your story in the comment sections, you are more than welcome to do so, whether you are a fan or not a fan. But leave the disrespectful comments, because I know there'll probably be some people like, oh, I could say something disrespectful. If you say anything disrespectful about Michael Jackson in my comment sections, the comment will get deleted. So that's why I'm like, no, you go take that elsewhere, not in my comment section. So anyways, June 25th, 2009. What was I doing that day? Any other normal day that a 12-year-old kid, like, in the house chilling. Because I'm trying to think, like, I was, by that time, I'm like, yeah, I was more into video games, watching TV, just chilling, just being a kid and stuff. So I remember, yeah, I was in the house, I was watching the Wayans brothers. And I even remember the episode of the Wayans brothers I was watching. It was that one where Marlon was pretending to be John Starks, and he got on that plane and stuff. And it's crazy because there is a scene in there where, after the news of Michael Jackson's passing was told to me, there was a scene in there that I seen right afterwards where I'm like, if you know the Wayans, you know that they don't hold back, I guess, on cracking jokes on people. I'm gonna talk on that in a moment, that the joke that Marlon had cracked. But anyways, no, so I remember I'm sitting down, I'm watching that episode, and my mom calls. She usually calls during the day and stuff, and I think it was kind of late in the afternoon, but either way, still, it was like, your mom calls, you pick up, see what's going on and stuff. So anyway, she calls, I pick up. And that's when she told me. She was all like, Michael Jackson had passed away. Now, I wasn't the biggest Michael Jackson fan. Like, I'm going to keep it a buck with you guys. Like, I wasn't listening to every single song that he created and all that stuff. And yeah, it's sad to admit, like I became more of a fan of Michael Jackson after he passed versus rather when he was alive and stuff. So yeah, that's on me missing out. That's on me. I'm like, that's one of those things where I'm like, I wish it was different, but I think that just how I felt not being a fan of his, like I felt depressed, so I feel like if I would have been a fan of his, like I don't know how I would have felt, but it definitely would have been a lot worse than how I already was feeling and stuff. So, but anyways, so yeah, she calls, she tells me, and I remember I was on the phone, I was like, oh, okay, I guess, like I don't know what you want me to do or say with that and stuff, but she says what she needs to say, and then yeah, that was the end of the conversation and stuff. So, anyways, at that point, I'm like, nah, I gotta go and look this up. I gotta see if it's true or not, cause I don't know. Like, I'm like, it wasn't like so back in, I guess, like for somebody that is younger than me and you don't really know how like the internet and social media and all that stuff. I wasn't allowed to have no social media account at 12 years old, so all I could do was get cheat codes for video games and go on Wikipedia. Those are the only two things I could do when it came to going on the internet and stuff. So, anyways, I remember I think I had looked his name up. I Googled his name. Hadn't really seen nothing. Then I think when I went to his Wikipedia page, that's when I had seen that yeah, they had it where it was his birthday and then the day that he died. And I'm like, oh wow. Then that's when I was seeing stuff like on TMZ, because there was the one post that they made where I think it was it looked like it was, I don't know if that picture was real or not, but and I don't, if I like, that's the thing, I wouldn't recommend you, because even now, like I seen some pictures of him after he passed where I wouldn't recommend you guys like look up that type of stuff, like people might not be able to take that, and I wouldn't want nobody, I guess, to look that stuff up and see. That's why I'll just describe it so you don't have to look it up and see it for yourself. But anyways, there's a picture where it looked like he was in the back of an ambulance truck, and you can like tell that it was like he was unconscious and things. And so yeah, I don't know if that picture was real or not, but I don't recommend you guys looking it up, because you might see some other stuff where it's like wasn't expecting to see that, because there was a picture that I just recently seen of him where I believe that picture was real, because people were talking about it on Twitter, where TMZ posted a picture of him after he passed, and it is a real picture of him on a gurney, and you can tell that he was gone and stuff. And I'm like, it's things like that where I'm like, I just, even if I could just talk on that real quick, and then just even the picture of him, I guess if that was a real picture in the back of the ambulance truck, why are people taking pictures of that? Why do people think that others want to see that? Especially if you're a Michael Jackson fan, there's artists that I was a fan of where after they pass. So for an example, there's the one musician XXX Tentacion, where when he had passed, people were posting videos and pictures of him dead in his car. And this was like, and you don't really see like, cause he was shot and killed, you don't really see no bullet hole, but still it's like to know that that's like him, and he's dead, and it wasn't like they had AI or people was using CGI. Like, no, it was real videos and pictures of him dead in his car. And it's stuff like that where I'm like, me being a fan of him and then seeing him in that state, like that's the last picture or like that's, I guess, like the last memory that I have of him being dead. That's not something that somebody wants to see. So that's why I'm like, that stuff can be traumatizing. That's why I'm like, it's still like, I remember seeing that picture when I was a kid, like when I was 12. I've went through so many different things since then, and I still remember that picture. So that's why I'm like, fam, it's just certain things like that. It just doesn't need to be posted. All right. So, but anyways, but yeah, that's why I knew that he was gone, Michael Jackson and stuff. So, I remember my dad was home, and I told him, and I was like, hey, I just looked it up online, and mom just called and just told me that Michael Jackson passed. I don't think he believed me. I think it was something where he needed to see it on the news and stuff. Cause yeah, it's like you hear somebody like Michael Jackson passing, it's like, nah, there ain't no way. There's no way possible Michael Jackson's passing and stuff. So yeah, he didn't believe me, and cause I don't think they hadn't talked about it on the news. Like, so like, and that's how like companies like TMZ, how how they work. They find that stuff out, and if there's a movie that people should check out where it really showcases how them guys be acting, and I'm like, yeah, after seeing that movie, I'm like, I know everything I need to know about TMZ. But there's this it was this movie called Nightcrawler, and I think it's yeah, it's like Jake Gyllenhaal. Hold on for a second, Nightcrawler. Yeah, it's a 2014 movie starring Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah, I was like, okay, I just wanted to make sure I got his name right and stuff. But yeah, it showcases how them TMZ photographers, how they be working and stuff. You know, it's a fictional movie, but still it's like, no, yeah, I can see like, oh, that's how they be doing things and stuff. But anyways, so the day's going on, and I'm seeing like more and more stuff of Michael Jackson and things, like they talking about it on TV. You know, it's like they're like, as they pretty much stopped like broadcasting like regular shows and stuff just so they can talk on Michael Jackson's passing. So the Wayans brothers episode that I was watching, where yeah, Marlon was pretending to be John Starks. There's a scene in there where the kid realizes that Marlon wasn't John Starks, and Marlon, he stands up and he's all like, and to me, I just find it weird that they show that episode, because it's like, who knows that a person is gonna pass, and then you show episodes like that. But anyways, Marlon stands up and he's all like, boy, I'll send you to Michael Jackson's house, or something like that. But I was like, whoa, that's weird. And I don't know, maybe that's just me just being paranoid or anything, something. But I'm like, that's just kind of odd that they'll show that like after, he passed and things. So I found that weird. But anyways, but yeah, then as the days just going on, it's like more and more channels, they're covering it, they're talking about it. By that time, like my family, like everybody was home, and then yeah, we were just all pretty much glued to the TV watching it and stuff. So yeah, they were it was like, cuz every news station, every music station, every TV channel possible, like, so like let's just say something like this in this day and age would have happened, it would have, yeah, social media probably would have been broken. Like everybody would have been covering it, bro. Everybody would have been trying to get some sort of reason, I guess, to like cover or talk about Michael Jackson and things. But yeah, man, it was crazy. It was definitely one of those days where it's like, this feels unreal. It doesn't feel normal and stuff. And so yeah, pretty much the whole day they're covering it, they're talking on it. And then yeah, then from that point forward, like I had to say, it was for a while they were talking on his passing and stuff. And yeah, it was just like it wasn't a day where because it felt like it, not so much as like it dragged on, but it felt like it went on for a while just on how much they were talking about him. Because I had to say, for me, I paid attention to that stuff from when the day he passed all the way up until his funeral. And yeah, because I did because yeah, it was during the summer, so it wasn't like I had to go anywhere. So I was home watching that. I remember me and my family, we sat down, we watched the whole thing. And that was like, I would have to say that was my first like exposure to a funeral. Like I hadn't been to no funeral. I haven't watched, like, I guess, like if we're talking like fictional movies and TV shows, that's the closest that I've ever been to like a funeral. But like a actual real funeral, yeah, Michael Jackson's that memorial thing that they had on TV and stuff. Yeah, that was the first, I guess, time I ever really sat down in the middle of a funeral and stuff. So I wasn't like there physically, but just, yeah, watching it on TV and stuff. But yeah, it just felt different. Like I know people probably ask like, how did that make me feel watching that? It felt different. It was a feeling that, it's like you don't feel on a regular and stuff. But yeah, it was not, I wouldn't say it felt it, well, yeah, I guess like it felt weird. I didn't want to say the word creepy, but I guess like I couldn't think of no words like similar to it and stuff, but it just didn't feel normal, like it. And so yeah, but then even after that, like it was just, depression and things. And I'm like, fam, again, wasn't the biggest Michael Jackson fan. And I'm like, and if somebody that's not even a kid where it's like, look, you fam, you got candy, you got video games, you got bike rides with your friends left and right all over the place and things, like, you being a kid, you get depressed off of Michael Jackson's passing. I'm like, yeah, the thing is this, that's one thing that I'll say about him. is that he is definitely before and after his passing the biggest artist of all time. I There is no other artist that I can think of where they had that much of an impact on me besides, like, yeah, there are some artists that I was a fan of and stuff, but I'm like, man, and I there was some artists where it's like their passing, it did leave me a little depressed, but I'm like, nah, with Michael Jackson, his was different. His death was one of those deaths where it's like, whoa. Like, you as the time goes on, it's like you kind of just process it a little bit more and stuff. And even still to this day, I'm like, that man passed away over 10 years ago, and it's still one of those deaths where I'm like, that's a death that didn't need to happen, so yeah, it's sad. And but that's one thing that I do like, is that you see how much like his legacy, it has like an impact now than it did like years ago and stuff. Like, you see where people, they still talking about him, they still listening to his music, he's still breaking records. And then, yeah, then seeing his nephew playing as him in this movie. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I'm just saying, like, talking on the trailer and things, fam, they just came out with a teaser trailer, and I'm like, look, and it's funny reading some of the comics or comments. I don't know why I said comics, but anyways, but reading some of the comments of people where they're like, yeah, when this movie comes out, they're gonna have to carry me up out of the theater. It's like, you see how much of an impact he has on people. And that was another comment that somebody had said where I was all like, fam, that's facts. I was like, that's a comment where I'm like, yeah, bro, that's straight up facts. But anyways, they said that Michael Jackson got fans that haven't even been born yet. That I'm Look, whoever left that comment, that's one of the, I don't know why I keep feeling like I'm saying comment. I'm like, but whoever left that comment, yeah, it's like, that's one of the realest comments that I have that I've seen lately. I'm like, I hold on for a second, let me see if I can still find that, because I was watching some Michael Jackson comment or videos and stuff. Yeah, it was this person named Yearn, and it was underneath this video where it was, I think it was of that guy DJ Vlad, and he was talking with this other guy where they both agreed on that they was all like, Michael Jackson was the second biggest person to ever walk the face of this earth, and the first person was Jesus. And I'm like, yeah, that's facts. I'm like, that's something I could agree on too. I'm like, I can't think of no other artist that stood out like Michael Jackson. I'm like, yeah, there is very few. So that's why I'm like, yeah, for him to have the accolades and the accomplishments and the achievements and the titles that he rightfully earned, yeah, bro, I'm like, that's one of those things. I have not seen no other artist get to that level of success as Michael Jackson, like, for maybe a short while, where they might have some songs here and there that blows up like a Michael Jackson song. But yeah, I don't think that there's too many artists out there where they can be on that same. I mean, what you, because that was one thing I remember, like, just knowing, was the Thriller album. Like, the amount of great, amazing songs that came out of that album. The whole album was like, yeah, it's one of those albums where it's like, you can't say that there was a bad song on that album, but you can't say that there was a bad Michael Jackson song. Now I do remember when they were start releasing music of Michael Jackson after he passed. And that's one thing I say that with all artists that pass, and then there's people that'll release their music afterwards. The music don't sound the same. I'm like, you can listen to Tupac's music before he passed and after he passed. Two different styles of music. But yeah, like, and even artists in this day and age that pass, and you hear their music that they release afterwards after they pass, it's not the same. So there was some songs that came out of Michael Jackson's where I'm like, after he passed, where I'm like, okay, I think that was good. But there are some others where I'm like, nah, I don't know. I'm like, maybe I gotta listen to them a little bit more, because you don't that like, he's not here to, I guess, give out the green light of like, okay, that's what I want this song to sound like. So yeah, I'm like, if he ain't here to approve of the song, then I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I think that would have to, that would have to happen, him approving of the song in order for that song to come out. But I mean, I don't know. I guess, like, they want the music to come out and things. So I don't know how else they would have went about it and stuff. But anyways, but yeah, the day that Michael Jackson passed, I was like, nah, that I had to say that was probably one of the most depressing days in my life, and I wasn't even a fan of him like that. So that's how much he I guess, in a way, had an impact on my life and things, and how much he meant happening to me where it's like I didn't even know him like that, but he still had an impact on my life. So, but anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next video, and peace.